Good evening, guys. It's 5:30 p.m. and of course that time of the day that we deep dive into the world of social media and find out what is trending, talk about it, give our fresh perspectives and hot takes here on Afia TV, broadcasting live from the coal city of Enugu State. My name is Divine Onohai, Queen of Great Conversations, and I am your host for today. I'm your gist body for today, but of course, I'm not alone. I have an amazing guest seated right here with me, but we'll take a very, very short break, and when we return, we'll get into it. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back to the show. It is Afia TV Official. Of course, the show that we give you all the happening, all the hottest trends on social media. And right before the short break, I told you that I'm here with a very, very amazing and interesting guest. I'm here with a photographer who goes by the name Uchenna Ezekwe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And I think you wanted to tell us something. Tell us a little about your photography.
Okay, the name is Ezekwe Uchenna with Little Book Images.
Little Book Images.
Yes, that's the photography brand. And, I'm an event photographer. Yeah, I do weddings, and I'm a photographer and a filmmaker as well.
Okay,
so
wow.
I major in wedding photography and filmmaking.
Oh, you guys make good memories.
Yes, actually. So that's what we do.
Okay, that's nice. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Are you ready? Okay, the first thing we're going to be talking about is this MARKANGEL gist that is making the trends on social media. So, of course, if you've been following the trends, Denilson Igwe, who happens to be partner with MARKANGEL before now, he came on Nedu's podcast and he was talking about all the ways that MARKANGEL has treated him. According to him, he's been exploited. MARKANGEL used him. And, they started together as family. For those of you who have been following, they started together as a family, doing content, making content. And when money started coming in, when the whole thing started bringing money, MARKANGEL was still paying them 20K, 50K. According to him, he was still paying Emmanuela 20K, and he's the one in charge of all their accounts. And he only gave him 50,000 naira once in a while, and a lot of stories there. I think we have that video. Let's just watch it here.
I don't know if you heard when they say Emmanuela built a house for the family, which Emmanuela don't even know how much is blocked. I met Emmanuela, that was last month. When you hear Emmanuela post anything, Emmanuela cannot post anything. Emmanuela is living in Mark's house, even till now.
He manages it and handles it.
Now he get the Instagram, TikTok, everything. Emmanuela no get will of her own now. Before we married, they used they logged into those accounts.
Now you call him MARKANGEL.
Now me call them MARKANGEL when they answer today. So when they put Emmanuela, even the success they in house too. So the two girls they in house with a lot of boys, and those girls don't grow. See, I'm speaking up for them because right now Emmanuela cannot speak up for herself. You are the first people to get YouTube award, even when they bring the award of 1 million views, 1 million
subscribers.
I said, how do people give award? They don't give money. He said that in no be, and he said YouTube self he won't even.
That's a snippet. He said a lot of things. He talked about, I mentioned the money.
I think I followed up on that.
Okay, yeah. He used to pay them just stipend, take this one. They didn't even know that YouTube had started giving them as much as $160,000. And now, yeah, that's a whooping sum. So people are saying, he has come out to express his grievances. And people are saying, some people think he's being entitled because without MARKANGEL, he wouldn't have even come out, he wouldn't have become a public figure. And other people are saying, no, whatever happened, whether MARKANGEL brought him to limelight or not, he's supposed to be sincere with his dealings with them. He's supposed to share the money equally and, not do that kind of shady thing. What would you have to say concerning it? Is this guy entitled?
Well, in an issue like this, they would have started as family, starting the initiative. They had their dreams, but they wouldn't know that they would get to this point in the journey where they would be widely known and making that sum of money. And there should have been some kind of service level agreement between them. So the reason for this challenge is because there is no such agreement. And then MARKANGEL being like the face, because he's the face of that team.
Of the comedy team.
Yeah, because you talk about the labor and the input, you would see Denilson with the other two, bringing in their input and all of that. So Denilson coming out to say that he's receiving a meager pay for his labor that he started way back and coming to this point and he's not being paid well. Well, it's not bad if he feels entitled.
Okay.
It's not bad if he feels entitled.
So are we saying he feels entitled to start with? Rightly so.
Rightly, it is his feeling.
Okay.
But then to judge whether his feeling is right or wrong depends on the basis of judgment you're using.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're working with someone and you get to a point where the person you're working with is earning, and then you don't feel like you're part of the earning, but you're part of the labor, you would feel entitled. If I'm part of the labor, I should be part of the earnings.
Okay.
So if you get to that point where the money is coming in, I'm aware of how much is coming in, I'm aware of the influence and all of that, and I'm not being a part of it, I would feel bad. Okay? But then it's difficult to arrive at that point where you would say, okay, this is how much he mentioned being entitled to 50-50. You can't so say because there's no such agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no such agreement. And then when relationships grow like that, it's good to, have discussions. They can sit and talk things out. This is where we've gotten to. This is where we started from. This is where we're going to. But this is where we've gotten to in this journey. How are things going to look like
going forward?
Yes, how are things going to look like going forward? So,
I feel like it was at the point of that conversation now, when it was time, when everybody became aware of all that is going on. They now sat down, okay, let's talk about this. I feel like Denilson, I think he said so, that he had expressed himself to Mark and he refused, which obviously led to their split, and he decided to go and start his own comedy, which according to him is not giving him as much exposure as he wants. So I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about this thing, because just like you pointed out, there was no agreement. So right now, what do you think should be done about it? Right now, do you think he should just move on and just let it go like that?
It's like you mentioned Emanuela and Success. Even MARKANGEL himself that he mentioned, it will be difficult to come to a conclusion if you have not heard from them.
Okay.
If you've not heard from them. So I believe Mark has seen this. Mark has seen this.
The video?
He has seen the video, but we've not heard his comment. We've not heard from him.
Let's assume, we're assuming that
let's say this
Denilson has said the truth right now. Let's just assume that.
Okay, assuming this is true.
What should they do?
If you said they should just move on, it's not something they can easily accept. Just, okay, let me just move on. What happens to
everything,
the reward?
All the labor?
Okay, what happens to the reward? Okay, he has splitted, and then he knows how much he's making. He knows how much wave comes to them when they were still together. And he's not getting that wave. He's not getting that pay. So it's difficult to move on with something like that. In my opinion, I would say that they should sit over it again.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we don't know the initial approach he used actually. When you waited for a while and then you don't see something coming, there will be some grievances. You understand? Yeah, there must have been some grievances that have come, and then he may not have approached him. So Mark may have felt maybe he's trying to come against him. They are not allies and so on. So let them sit over it again.
I'll reserve my comment. Let's take a look at what the comments are saying. The first comment we have here says, MARKANGEL, na Igbo version of Naira Marley. Hey, good.
Who said this?
This is Dan Dike. Dan D-E-K. This one says, if they have denied your rights or taken your rights or what belongs to you from you before, you will understand what he's saying and the pain and feel the pains. Yeah. And this one says, if when he left MARKANGEL and Mark relented, or maybe he's not where he is today, would he have come out to say this? I'm not against anyone, but truly success comes with so much envy and jealousy, just like know how it is when your ex is prospering. I don't quite agree with this, because I wouldn't say this is a case of envy or jealousy. It's just someone trying to seek what belongs to them. I mean, since they've put in work, just like you said.
Yes, yeah.
And then this one says, your friend's secret is supposed to be saved in your hands. You are not saying the truth. You wanted to eat the same thing with him. You weren't loyal to him. Your attitude was bad towards the crew. You left thinking MARKANGEL will fall, but you forget, say grace past grace, loyalty past juju. This one sounds like he has known him for a very long time. Sounds like he's in the picture.
Well. Yeah.
This is, no, I don't.
Well, in a situation like this, since we're speculating, we're not like, even if Mark is to come out and speak, you can assume what he will likely say. You understand? And if you have to ask Emanuela to voice out and say, okay, what Denilson said, is it true?
Is it true?
You can assume what she would likely say.
What would she likely say?
She can't so say.
What do you think she would say?
She can't so say. She, looking at her from her appearance, you know, publicly, you won't sense danger.
Yeah, you won't sense that she's been abused.
Yeah, you won't sense from her look, she looks comfortable. She looks comfortable.
All right, let's see what the others are saying. Everything he said can't be a lie. Okay. The pain of working with someone that said to you, let's build this thing as a family, and you believe him. And when the money starts coming, the same person that said, let's build this thing as a family starts treating you as an outsider. Omo, you pay me, but anyhow, I will still talk am. This one says, in less than 2 minutes, you have said a lot. If you want to tarnish someone's image, at least use wisdom. It will be hard for people to believe you, even if you are saying the truth, because you talk too much. Wow. There must be some truth in what the guy is saying.
I think most persons are saying that there must be some truth.
Some kind
of
truth.
When someone comes out to speak like this, with such effrontery, with such audacity, boldness, you know, there should be some atom of truth in what he's saying.
Anyways, true, but of course, we're still waiting for Mark to come and say something.
I won't speak for Mark.
Yes, and maybe Emanuela. But of course, it's a developing story, so we're just going to hang on and wait. But I personally think, this is the comment I was reserving at first, I think that, honestly, if we worked together from scratch as a family, first of all, I feel there was insincerity at some point. When you started making money, you should have told me. Let's now leave. Let's leave the sharing away. Yeah. When you started making money, what stopped you from telling me? It hurts. It already shows that you have ulterior motive. Nice. But if you came to meet me and you told me that, okay, CEO, we're now getting $160,000, but I'm going to give you only $10,000, then we'll now start that negotiation. Do you understand? I'll now tell you, no, you can't give me that.
Then someone that has such thing in mind, it will be difficult for him to let it out now.
You understand? Yes. So it means that something about MARKANGEL, but I will not complete what I'm saying until we hear more about the story. But of course, that's all we can take on that story. Let's take a look at the next story that we have here. This is about MTN office. MTN taking a decision to, do to announce a nationwide closure of all their offices today, the 30th of July. And of course, if you have followed it, you'd realize there's been some kind of protests. There's been some kind of agitation because of those whose lines were blocked due to NIN issue, NIN linking and all of that. We even heard stories of people going down and tearing down the vandalizing their properties. So now we're hearing that they've closed down. And we'll just take a look at the comments before I get your opinion on this. This one says, them nearly see heaven yesterday. You don't want people way hunger, they wire. And need I mention this? I need to mention it. While a lot of people are giving their input on this, there are people thinking that this is some kind of strategy against the upcoming protests. There are people linking it to a lot of things so that there will not be network.
So that there won't be that communication.
So there won't be that communication. So that the protest will not make it online. A lot of things have been, joined together with this. A lot of things have been associated with this. But let's finish the comments. This one says the protest is already in motion. Just the beginning. MTN really took a huge risk yesterday. I don't know who advised them to do what they did yesterday in a period of widespread anger and discontent among Nigerians. Nigerians that are looking for any small opportunity to vent their frustration. I wonder why they can't make other channels available and effective to handle issues. Not all issues must be brought to the office before it's resolved. Same thing as Nigerian banks. Yesterday was no network, today is no opening at all. This country, everywhere there is panic. So, over to you.
Okay, in light of the recent economic state of the country, the hunger, the high cost of living, and amidst all things. Now, MTN as a network brand is big. Like you mentioned that, okay, it could be a plot to, disrupt communication.
That's what people are saying.
Yeah, that's what people are saying, that it could be a plot to disrupt communication against the planned protest. Okay, and I'm of the opinion that, well, everything is possible. Everything is possible. But MTN as a brand is big. Yeah, it's a big brand that it would be difficult for them to,
to want to do that,
because you can calculate, if you look at
and then there are other networks too.
Yeah, if you look at the back end, if you know how much they are losing, they will be losing for not being available for that period of time. Okay, and I think we have native networks. This challenge comes with when a network gains a monopoly of the market. Okay, if our native networks could do better, like strengthen their network strength, connectivity, and all that, people would prefer to patronize our native networks than the foreign ones. Okay. So I'm of the opinion that we should, the owners of the native network should invest in strengthening.
To strengthen it.
Yeah, in strengthening it rather.
I still don't feel like MTN has a monopoly though, because, anyways, I'm just gonna leave that for.
MTN is. I'm of the opinion that MTN is leading.
Okay, leading. Yeah, leading. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
He's a leading figure in the broadband network.
Okay, but now let's talk about the NIN linking issue. Okay. Was it a good move for MTN to have done what they did when they did it?
Now, you would understand that no organization will just wake up to implement a decision, especially one that is as, difficult as this one. They may have given prior notice.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, that all networks should be, linked before.
Okay.
And even when the whole saga of the NIN stuff started, and then, people were trying to link before the closure, I can remember that they gave the extended deadline. And then they got to a point where, okay, the whole thing now quieted down. And till this point where they decided to, okay, we'll reach that deadline we give, and then we are closing up. So it's unfortunate that deadline meets us where, okay. You understand? It's unfortunate. And one of the challenges we have in this part of the country is our way of responding to things.
Very important.
Our way of responding to things. You're entitled to your feelings, actually. You can feel the way you feel when something is being spoken or an action is being done to you. But your response is very, very critical. It has a way of speaking more about yourself. So when you respond with rage, if you're responding to something, what do you want to achieve with that response? You just want to vent your anger, or you want to really cause change? By going to vandalize their properties, tear down products, you've not really caused any much change. You've even, I think it's because of that they are shutting down. Yes, it's a threat. You can't expect them to be open in the face of things like this.
Oh, well, that's a very good point. We'll go for a very, very short break, and when we return, we'll talk more about it and talk about our next story. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. And of course, we were talking about MTN shutting down all their offices nationwide. And just before the short break, Uchenna here was addressing the way that we as Nigerians respond to things. And I just want to add something to that. I agree with you entirely. First of all, if it's really about the NIN linking, it's no, not even that. I'm saying it's long overdue. Sometimes when instructions are given,
we are reluctant to follow.
Why are we always waiting for dying minutes? Why are we like this? Why are we like, now we're angry. We're vandalizing buildings. We're doing You had enough time. We had enough time to. Me, I did my own. You did.
I did mine.
You did yours. You know, even though I understand to an extent, but and then a lot of people are saying that this is just the wrong time because we're all frustrated. A lot of people are angry. Businesses are not going well. The cost of living is quite high. But at the same time, vandalizing properties is not the right way. It's not the right way. All right, we'll just talk about our last story right now, and we're taking it to church. This pastor has something to say to us about hospitals, going to the hospitals and taking drugs and following the Bible. Let's have the video.
This thing and law that is good for pain and headache. This thing is not the tool of the devil. Inside this box is not witches and wizards. This thing came from the wisdom that God gave the medical professionals. People that have built their faith, they are no longer taking medication. This is what they've done. They had the Bible, undergirding it. They've now been able to take this out. They are now taking this medicine. You can't say they diagnose you with cancer and you say you want to go on hallelujah diet, eating ginger and lemon and onions. You will go and meet with God. You have never used faith for headache. How are you going to use it for diabetes? It takes time to develop faith. You have to understand your level. If you still on the level where you have to take it, don't feel ashamed. There's nothing shameful about it. The doctor is not your enemy. Nurses and doctors save more lives than pastors do.
Right, that is what our pastor here is saying. Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you sure? Anyways, so there are people saying that, there is this, it looks like we Christians were sort of, I hate to say it, but divided to a great extent. There are people who practice their Christianity differently. They will decide that they will not go to the hospital, they won't take drugs, they won't take medication because God is supposed to heal them perfectly, and that's what the pastor is speaking against. You don't just, medicine is from the wisdom of God. So
Sure.
Do you agree with him?
Very well, I do agree with
Oh,
him.
you do?
Yes.
Okay.
You see, he mentioned something that is very critical. Faith is built. Faith is built like from a level to another level, and it keeps building. When you're dealing with God, you cannot function beyond what you know. You cannot function. Your functioning as a human is at the level of what you know, at the level of what you understand, and at the level, in fact, your behavior is influenced by what you believe. Yes, greatly. And then your duty is influenced by what you've been taught, what you've been indoctrinated into.
Okay.
So it's wrong to divide medical science from faith and say that, okay, it is by medical science as opposed to faith in God, or healing is by faith in God as opposed to medical sciences. Okay, it's the wrong thing to do. It's the wrong thing to do because the doctors themselves, in as much as some of them will not like to agree, but then this wisdom came from God. The wisdom to be able to see a green plant and then, the process of converting it and all of those things to bring healing is from God. So you can choose to believe that God can heal you from an ailment, and he will do. Not rejecting some of them is, okay, I believe that God can heal me, and because I do, I won't take paracetamol, I won't take that. And a lot of persons have died
because of that.
It's sheer ignorance.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me now twist it a little bit.
Okay.
He mentioned something. He said at the end of the day, the doctors have healed more sick people than the church. That's what he said. Okay. And I know it's contextual. I understand what he's saying. But it now begs the question, when he makes that kind of statement now, you think about when people give credits to God when they get healed. Like you go to the hospital and the doctor does something and you are fine, you now give credit to God. A lot of people have come on Twitter, especially agitating. Why would you give credit to God instead of giving it to the doctors? So if we're saying that when medicines are used, it is God, at what point are we going to give credit to the doctors?
Okay, can I ask you a question? Is there anything you have that you did not receive?
No, I want to know your opinion on the question I just asked. There's a reason why.
Okay, I'm of the opinion, and I believe strongly in what the Bible teaches.
Okay.
Okay, and it's wrong actually to give the credit of a thing or someone's credit to another person.
Okay.
Okay.
So whenever healing occurs, whenever someone is well, all credits goes to God.
God is the source of healing. There's nothing we have that we did not receive.
Okay.
Anything at all we can boast of. In fact, you can go on and on. First of all, what do you even have? So when you're doing listing of the things you have, you then answer the question of what you have that you've not received.
Okay.
So if you can answer those questions of what you have that you've not received, I can just hold on to the breath of life. You have that one. It was given to you. So
okay.
The doctors receive that credit for that human, effort they do.
Okay. That's where I was getting to.
Yes, for that
That's where I was getting
effort
to.
they do. But to say that effort without God can amount to something, I totally disagree with that. In as much as there are some people that don't even believe in the idea of God. Okay? So God takes the glory.
All right.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, but I have other questions for you, but we don't have enough time. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of this show. And I want to acknowledge the fact that at the end of the day, the doctors too should be given their credits for at least trying, for all that they do at the end of the day. But the man was right. The pastor was right. We Christians be calming down. And on that note, we are wrapping up the show, and join us every other weekday here on Afia TV, same station, same time. And we'll be here giving you all that is trending and hot and spicy on the internet. My name is Divine Onoha. Have a lovely, lovely evening.